Previously on Survivor.
So everybody drop your buffs. We are swapping tribes.
The best thing that could possibly have happened to my game.
If I learned something, I think Kelechi's running this game.
Yeah, we're now goated. We've got both idols. I'm pretty sure we have all of the idols that exist in the game so far.
I will do whatever I can to make sure that she doesn't get voted out and that she wins.
I see a long future with Jay. I like him a lot.
And he says, in my opinion, I would rather vote out Isabella.
I feel like I have power. It is ultimately just up to me here, once again, for this vote.
Fifth person voted out of Survivor Zoom Island. Isabella.
This is like gonna be so awkward.
I read that.
I need 100 lettuce.
I actually feel like
Who thought it was going to be?
crying about it right now.
At the last tribal council, Isabella was voted out pretty heavily. So that was a surprise because the people who told me that they were going to vote for Becca ended up voting for Isabella.
And so for you baddies who haven't been keeping up to date, basically last week, I just fucked over Isabella.
Julia was thinking that if we voted for either Jay or Becca, that would jeopardize our alliance with the rest of them, like with Kelechi, with Ridiculum. And it would make it basically us on our own, and it would, as opposed to having an alliance with 5 or 6 people.
Hi, I'm Jay Dillon. I'm 1,000 years old, and I'm a professional studier / note taker. This is what it feels like today, because I just studied for 12 hours, and I'm very tired. This was by far the scariest tribal council that I've been to yet. I was relying on Julia and Jack so much this week. I've never felt my fate more out of my hands in this game than I did last tribal council. So Julia and Jack take hours, it feels like, to decide what they're gonna do. We see those votes. The first vote to show up is my name. There goes my perfect game. I go to vote. I got 1 vote against me so far. What are you gonna do? I get 1 vote. Okay, I think, okay, so they did lie, so it is gonna be me. Giana did lie to me. And then I see the second vote is Becca. And at that point, I lose all hope. Because my immediate thought is, oh, they did what I thought they were gonna do. They went 2-2-2. They did 2 on me, 2 on Becca, and then let me and Becca vote for whoever. And then they're just gonna pick between the 2 of us. So in that moment, I thought, I'm done. That's it. One of us is going home. And then the third vote comes Isabella, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's what I expected. And then the fourth vote comes Isabella, and I think, oh, I guess that order makes sense. I would have figured they would have gone back to me. Or that Miguel would have gone back to me next. And then the third Isabella vote comes in. He says, 5th person voted out Isabella. And she's shocked, and I'm a little shocked too. I was really certain that I was going home when those votes showed up. When that second vote showed up, I thought that there was no way I wasn't going home. So it was Isabella, and that was great.
The thing that concerns me is that this happened without my knowledge. And that kind of makes me wonder where I stand in terms of Jack and Julia, because the two of them obviously made this decision together without me. Now I feel like I'm a little bit on the outs. I'm trying not to let this event concern me that much, because I still do think Jack, Julia, and I have good reason to vote with each other and stick together. Especially since this is what they did to me was something very similar that I did to Matt in the second week we went to tribal council. And I didn't lie to him because I wanted to vote him out. I just lied to him because I wasn't sure where he stood with Trevor, and I thought it was smarter not to tell him what I was actually trying to do. So I can see that being a very similar situation that played out last week.
I thought Giana and the other people from my original tribe, Jack, Julia, and Isabella, were in an alliance and they're going to vote together, but there was betrayal, and Jay and Becca were able to control the vote, and Isabella went home, which was quite surprising. The long-term plan is that me and Giana want each other to go as far as possible. The plan is to make it seem like we're very distant from each other after her betrayal a couple weeks ago, and then come merge, not try to take too much of a lead in any of the votes, but being that vote that ends up deciding it. We're in unique situations because I'm not in VTV or Ridiculum circles, and she's in both, while everyone else is kind of in one or the other that I know of. So we're going to try to use that position to understand exactly everything that's going on in the game, push it where we want to go, and then we can reveal our partnership when it becomes more useful.
Welcome, everybody. Take a look at the new Mahogany tribe. Ladette voted out at the last tribal council. We are actually going to be merging next week. So next week, that means we will combine tribes into one. All the challenges will be for individual immunity. But before you get to that point, there is one last test that you must endure. Next week, both tribes will be attending tribal council, so 2 players will be voted out before the merge. But even then, there will still be an opportunity for you to be immune at your tribe's tribal council. But it's going to be a little different from a normal immunity challenge. What's going to happen is each tribe is going to decide together who from the other tribe will be immune next week. You'll be able to play a role in how the other tribe's tribal council goes. So the way this is going to work is that I'm going to send each tribe into a breakout room. You're going to have about 10 minutes to discuss. At the end of the 10 minutes, I'm going to come into your breakout room, and you need to have come to a unanimous decision for who to make immune from the other tribe. Everybody gives me the same name, then that person on the other tribe will be immune. If you fail to come to a unanimous decision, then the person who is immune is going to be random on the other tribe, and there is a punishment. You will not be able to compete for immunity at the first challenge after the merge. I am not going to make it public until tribal council. So you won't have any confirmation who on your tribe is immune. I mean, someone on the other tribe might tell you, but you can only take their word for it.
Should we go one by one and say who we think, and then go down the line, and then we could start to discuss?
Yeah, does anyone have someone offer it?
I was gonna say Kelechi.
Kelechi?
I was gonna say, I feel like Kelechi would be a really easy one, but I don't know if there's someone else who would need it.
who we would want to keep in.
I mean, I'm down for Kelechi or Lewis. I feel like Lewis is kind of like the most harmless player. And it could be like a wrench in someone's plans if they try to like pick off an easy target.
Whoa!
I made it.
Last minute pick.
They're letting anybody in here, I guess.
So we offered up Kelechi or Lewis of who
Cool.
we would like to provide immunity.
Yeah, I'm good either way.
I'll just personally say Kelechi because I don't really know Lewis.
I think they're more likely to vote out Lewis, probably, or at least to plan to vote out Lewis.
If we want both of them to survive this vote, like who should we give it to?
So if they plan to vote out one of the two of them,
They'll just go for the other one.
they'll just pick the other one.
Yeah.
I think there's a slightly higher chance of Lewis having the idol because I don't think Kelechi does.
Oh, so then they both can have immunity?
If he has it.
Well, I don't. He had votes put against him in one previous tribal, so I don't know if he does. But I'm pretty certain that Kelechi doesn't.
I say we go Kelechi.
Okay.
All right, I'm fine with that.
Anybody got some picks? Might as well rip the band-aid off, hop into it.
Is there anyone that anyone doesn't want to get immunity on the?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's probably a better way to start. Someone who like absolutely is like absolute no.
How were Becca and Jay for you guys? Are they one to like scheme or talk and everything?
Becca and Jay are definitely aligned. And I would say Giana and Jack and Julia are probably aligned.
In our old tribe, the old killers.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see there. Let's. You guys have any grievances you want to add?
Giana, Isabella, Jack, and Julia all voted to get Trevor out without me and Audrey's vote. And so I was kind of surprised that Isabella left because of that. But maybe that's interesting about Julia being in Ridiculum. Or I knew that, but Julia switching because of the Ridiculum vote, maybe.
Yeah, that's where my thought is that Julia is maybe probably switched.
Us former hoggers, mahogany-ers, like
Not the hoggers.
are likely to vote. Are likely to like want, I guess, another hogger to get immunity. And on the flip side, like not former OG killers are gonna want like an OG killer to also get it. So I feel like that would probably cause like a stalemate.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I don't really care for the old
Yeah,
killers.
I was gonna say, it's like kind of random, and I'd rather we just decide anyone than no one at
Exactly.
all,
I'd rather
so-
we just pick someone.
If we think Julia was like the switching vote, we could just pick her.
Julia and Jack are like the youngest, so they could either have like very little connections with the older people or like the middle-y people, or like strong connections with like the super young people. So Julia and Jack, I'm not sure how many connections they have in the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think that we should give it to whoever is probably like in the worst spot, right?
That would, if I had to guess, that would be like that would make it between like Jack, Giana, or Julia. If I.
Oh.
Would anyone have insight into that? Like, this would be asking original Killer's tribe. Like, out of those three, who do you think is most likely to get, I guess, betrayed?
Julia.
I am okay with
left.
Julia, I guess.
It feels like the name that has come up most frequently is Julia. So if we need to, Miguel's coming in a minute. So if we need to like pick something that feels like the closest we've come to a decision, but last call if somebody feels very strongly against that.
No strong feelings. I'm good, Julia.
It is time to come to a decision. So I'm going to go in the order of people I see on my screen. Becca, you're first. Who will be immune from the other tribe?
Kelechi.
Whoa.
Okay, Kelechi. Jay, what about you?
Kelechi.
Giana?
Kelechi.
Julia?
Kelechi.
Jack?
Kelechi.
All right. So that means Kelechi will have individual immunity at the next tribal council. Starting with Maddie Brenner, who will you give immunity to?
Julia.
Julia. All right. Audrey.
Julia.
All right. Lewis.
Julia.
Taryn.
Julia.
Kelechi.
Julia.
Zach.
Julia.
All right. So Julia will have individual immunity at the next tribal council.
Obviously, we voted our girl Kelechi because I know no one else on that team who I'm gonna vote for. It's my girl Kelechi. And then that evening, I got a text from Kelechi. And I'm like, oh my god, my girl, what's up? Guess who got immunity? Or at least I was told. Oh my god. If I was told I have immunity and that was actually just a big old lie, Kelechi, I hope nothing but the worst. Because that would be so funny though. So like I wouldn't actually be mad. I would be gobsmacked for sure.
I don't think anybody's getting more screwed than me besides Lewis. Lewis is going home. On the other tribe, there's no way Lewis isn't going home. We decided on giving immunity to Kelechi for them, and I was pushing for Lewis because, honestly, I would rather have Lewis in the game than Kelechi. I love Kelechi. I think she's great, but she's got a lot more options than Lewis would have, I think. She is going to be harder to beat at the end, and I think she's going to be loyal, but she's going to be, if I betray her, she's going to be burned. She's going to be mad at me. I think I could have beaten Lewis at the end, and losing him is kind of tough. And I'm almost certain that's what's going to happen. I mean, my main four from the last tribe, we couldn't have had a worse split. But like possible, I mean, thankfully honestly, I would have been fine being in a pair with any of them, with Kelechi, Becca, or Lewis. I would have felt fine. But Lewis and Kelechi going with that tight four, and then the four of us going with their four on the original Killers tribe, we couldn't have gotten a worse split than that. I mean, brutal. Both pairs were put at a disadvantage. At least if it was 3-1, 3 people would be safe, one person would have to scrap their way out of getting voted out. But good God, we got put in a bad position. And then, as for Ridiculum as a whole, this twist is awful for us. So we kind of got screwed over a little bit. And if I can get it to be Giana that goes home instead of Becca, then I'll at least have a better path in the game. If Becca goes home, I have to rely on Jack and Kelechi and Julia the most, and that's not a position that I'm way too comfortable in.
I'll be completely honest with you. I don't care if I go home tonight. My name has been thrown around. I'm so fucking busy. So I told Julia, like, I'm actually so busy right now. So I told Julia, I'm like, hey, if you're between me and Jay, just vote me out. Because I don't want to play this game without Jay. And I don't have time to, like, just sit on the jury and, like, do nothing. So I'd rather just get voted out before the merge. But if we're both in it, then I'm in it to win it. But, like, if it's just me, then I'm not, like, really, my heart's not going to be in it that much. And I'd rather it be me than Jay to go home tonight.
I know this week that my name is actually out there and could be a serious contender. I think Becca wants to vote me out. I very bluntly told her last week that I was going to vote for her. And I thought that the honesty would be appreciated, but it seems that has backfired.
That being said, Julia said she's voting for whoever has the shittiest answers during tribal between me, Giana, and Jay. And Jack said he's voting for me or Jay, and I have not spoken to Giana. So I'm hoping that me not speaking to Giana is, like, kind of like a bitchy move, and then she's, like, being bitchy at tribal, and then Julia votes her out.
So I'm trusting right now that Jack and Julie and I are going to be voting together and that we're going to be voting for Becca. Because that's what it sounds like we're planning on doing right now.
And I don't feel too good about tonight, honestly. I think that the more that I mean, no one's really talked to me today at all. I have a test tomorrow. I don't know if you know, I have a test in commercial law tomorrow, so I've been studying all day. But it's hard to study when this is nagging at the back of your mind. When like I'll wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night and think, oh, who's Kelechi voting for? Kelechi's not on my tribe. But it'll just be there. I'll just be thinking about it. Like who? Oh, I wonder if Matt's gonna play the idol tonight. I don't know. Why would I care? It's stuck in my mind a little bit. So tonight it's gonna be either me, Giana, or Becca. I think least likely is me. I still think there could be a grand coup to get rid of me. I mean, I don't know whether Jack and Giana's plan is to get rid of me or Becca. I think Becca, but Julia texted me out of nowhere today and said that Jack is really loyal to me, and that made me feel worse. That makes me feel like she is lying to me a little bit, and I don't love that. So I think it's gonna be me or Becca. Honestly, I think it's gonna be me or Becca.
Genuinely, where is the fun in this game unless you are living on the edge and nearly being voted out every week? I've never been voted for, so that's not what's happening to me necessarily, but inside of my head, that's that's mentally what it's doing. This is truly a game of mental, psychological torture.
When they said you had to vote, come to a consensus on who you're gonna give immunity, hands down, I knew it was gonna be me. Hands down, I knew it was gonna be me. Because it's me. Like, what, did y'all watch Wicked? It's me! You know, I don't want to sound cocky, but like, I genuinely, in my mind, I was like, who else would they vote besides me? Like, I'm the common, like, for right now, as of right now, I'm the common denominator between literally everyone on Killers. I wouldn't be surprised if it took them like 5 minutes to decide who they wanted to vote for. Because they all know me, so it's like, why would they vote for it anyways? So it's funny because like I know all of them, and they know me, but somehow this Killers tribe right now is completely oblivious to my like relative likability score and like popularity, which is fine. Like I'll stay under the radar. Y'all stay asleep. Stay asleep. Bitch, before y'all even went into the vote, I was like, I'm gonna get immunity. Like, no cocky shit. I just like, who else would they have voted? I probably have already said this in confessional, but real talk, who else would they have voted for? Over me? Over Clutch? What? I had to act surprised when they tell me I have immunity. I feel like I said, I don't really like expose my allies too much. For the producers, like, feel free to like zoom in on my face when like they're like, when Hefe, Jeff, Miguel reveals, he's like, I can reveal who I have never watched actual Survivor, but I have a feeling he's gonna say something like this. I can reveal that this week, immunity goes to Kelechi. Okay, pan to me. Me on the Zoom screen. Let's go! Pretends to be shocked. Let's go! Let's go! Oh my god, I'm honored.
So this is like worst case scenario is I've been in the minority the entire time on the Mahogany tribe. Get onto this new tribe with my friends. Feels good. We're gonna be in power. We have a plan. And of course, we get to go to tribal, but the one person that we would want to take out is marked safe by the other tribe. So now we have two like not great options. I don't really know which one. I don't really know between Lewis and Matt which one would be better to keep in for my game, and if I feel like it involves lying either way. Somehow I'm in a position where I went from feeling like there's no way I can feel like I'm losing to I feel like I'm losing no matter what I do.
The only thing I'm trying to like navigate is keeping up the numbers for Ridiculum. Let's be honest, it's Mahogany and Killer's tribe, but the real tribe division is Ridiculum versus VTV. Anybody who tells you otherwise is lying. They're lying. So I think my goal, I've been kind of masking it as, oh, we have to keep up with the mahogany numbers up, but it's really like ridiculous.
Not enough people are mentioning the fact that it's just been a VTV slaughter. If we look at everybody that has gone home, I'll include Grant, even though he was like self-evicted. He asked for that, but Grant, and then Margot, and then Josh, and then Trevor, then Isabella, and you know, I bet Ridiculum thinks they're real slick, just like murdering my people, and not in a fun way.
I brought you all here for one reason and one reason only. It's to vote out everyone in Ridiculum.
I'm cool with that.
I know that Kelechi is interested in voting out either Matt or me, and I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page that we shouldn't be doing that.
I am okay operating against Ridiculum since they seem to be a pretty solid group, or at least like going into this, it felt like they had most of the player base as a potential alliance.
That works for me. I don't have a spot in this rivalry, but I'm happy to help out VTV.
I feel like it would make sense for me and Zach and Audrey to want to keep Matt, who's more likely to work with us, because he's not a Ridiculum member. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to go into the merge. Even with 2 idols, I don't know that I want to go into the merge with 6 enemies.
I've been talking with Taryn and Zach and Kelechi and Audrey a lot this week, which was really good. I haven't heard from Lewis, but I hope he's doing well.
Let me rattle off some basic game strategy for you. There are people that you want to keep in the game. People who you think you can beat. People who are not threats. There are people you don't want to keep in the game. People who have idols. People who you can't beat. When it comes to a vote like this, where I'm choosing between people that maybe can stay in the game inconsequentially, or maybe they can't, or maybe other people who maybe I have alliances, but maybe there's people that I can't trust, or I don't think I'd be able to beat. It's a hard dichotomy to decide who's going home and who you want to keep moving into the next level of the game. I'm really gonna have to start thinking about who I can beat and who I think is gonna be worthwhile to keep around to help bolster my own ability to win.
But the goal going into this elimination is to flesh out an idol, 100%. Since I'm immune, I don't have to worry about people voting for me. The goal is to flesh out an idol. And I think that idol lies in the hands of Matt or Audrey. I think Matt is more of the type, considering the clue was pretty math-based, and he's had the most time with it, being on Killers from the jump. But who knows? Bitches be lying. Yeah, the thing is that I think Matt has it, and so the plan at the moment is for the majority, which lies in the OG Mahogany tribe. That would be me, Zach, Taryn, and Lewis. We all vote for Matt. Hopefully Matt doesn't see it coming. Matt gets voted out. Easy majority.
We don't know where the idol is. And, well, I'm sure some people do know. It seemed that Trevor had the idol in OG Killer's tribe because then after he left, and the tribe swap happened, the idol reset, which means it was gone. That gave Zach and Taryn and Kelechi and Lewis the opportunity to have 2 idols, which would be weird, but cool for them.
As far as my tribe goes, I'm gonna try and go for getting Matt out because I just feel like he's the most likely one to have the idol. But if Matt doesn't leave, I do worry that Lewis is on the chopping block. I'm gonna do my part to keep Lewis in, if possible, and Matt out.
Me, Audrey, Zach, and Taryn, I think, are voting together. We're gonna vote for Kelechi or Lewis, who, according to Giana and Becca, one of them has the immunity.
But there's also the possibility that Matt gets spooked. He plays his idol. All of a sudden, all our votes are invalidated, and one of us goes home. Not me, but likely Lewis. Just because he's a bit of like, he's just been like so like invisible. Like he hasn't really been grafting. Like he's just been like I mean, no disrespect to the guy. I don't want to fault him for having a life, but it's like, if you want to stay in the game, you gotta work for it. You gotta be texting people. You know what I mean? I know you got other shit to do, but so do the rest of us. But I don't know. I'm trying my best, but at the same time, like, I'm not trying to fight for a grown ass man. Like, especially like, the harder I go for him, the more sus it looks. You know what I mean? And I honestly, like, I'll sleep like a baby if Lewis gets eliminated. Like, I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm not losing sleep over, like, trying to keep a grown-ass man in the game.
My plan going in is to ideally vote Kelechi. However, realistically, based on existing relationships outside of the game, I'm thinking she gets immunity from the other tribe, and in that case, shift the vote onto Lewis. Because kind of trying to lower the ridiculum numbers since they might be the largest group heading into the merge. Hopefully neither myself nor Taryn need to use our idols and can kind of pocket those for our group going forward later into the game.
Kind of 50-50 on whether Matt has an idol. Maybe he's lying to me, and he's told me he doesn't. Maybe he's lying. Audrey's also said she doesn't think he has it. Maybe they're lying. Maybe they're in cahoots. But what do I do? How do I hedge my bets against this? Vote out Taryn. Or Zach, but I'm thinking more Taryn. The reason why I'm thinking more Taryn is because Taryn has admitted to knowing where the OG Mahogany idol lays. We've been so focused on trying to find who has the OG Killer's idol. Maybe it's Matt, maybe one of our Mahogany people came in and solved it and found it. Maybe it's Matt, maybe it's not. But Taryn has admitted she knows where the OG Mahogany idol lays. I don't have it. Lewis doesn't have it. If Lewis had it, he should have played it. If Lewis has had it this whole time and we didn't know, fair play to him. But I don't have it. I don't think Lewis has it. I know Jay and Becca don't have it. Who's left of the OG Mahogany? Taryn and Zach.
She's been saying Taryn or Zach for a vote. She's also mainly just trying to figure out who has the idol.
Is everyone on like the same vibe of, I sure would like to vote Kelechi, but I probably can't, so I guess I'll vote Lewis.
That's
Yeah.
Because that was my mentality. Partially because, again, I feel like she's probably a little bit more well-connected between the two of them. And also, like, Lewis has actually texted me personally at least once, so I'll feel like the teensiest bit bad. Kelechi has not, so I have no qualms if she's not immune.
I forgot that these boys, these men, I guess, can have their own opinions. I'm, like, kind of shocked that, like, it's not just, I say this, you're doing it. Like, as a man, why are you talking back to a woman? Basically, I felt like I had it in the bag. Maybe I got too cocky, whatever. I felt like I had it in the bag. I was like, if I can convince Matt to vote out Taryn, and Lewis will do whatever I say, Taryn's gone. And I'm giving them my pitches, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. I've leaked information to Matt that, like, I've done that to kind of gain a good repertoire and show, like, hey, trust me, even though, like, maybe you probably shouldn't, but, like, hey, trust me, I think this is the way to go. I showed him proof that Taryn says that she knows where the idol is. He's like, I don't see anything incriminating on that. Check your fucking glasses, mate. Read it again. She literally says she knows where the idol is.
Kelechi was maybe working closer with Becca and Jay, but now she's without them in this tribe, so she doesn't seem to know as much what's going on.
Yeah, geez Louise, like, I'm like, are we even having the same conversation right now? If I was talking to a woman right now, she'd get it. She'd get it. I'm talking to Lewis and Matt. It's like, doi, 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 doi. like what? Chat. Tell me, does my strategy make sense? I feel like it's a good strategy. I feel like these bozos are thinking, oh my god, I need to stop talking so derogatory like this. I'm gonna get the fucking villain edit. I'm like, hey stupid, hey stupid. Like I'm trying to help. You know what I mean? He don't want to be say, don't say like that's it. You know who said that? Megan Thee Stallion. So at the end of the day gotta end. So everybody, welcome to Tribal Council. This week, both tribes are going to tribal, as you know, so 2 people will be voted out, and then we are going to merge into one tribe. However, the twist for this week, part of it is that one person here is immune. I will start off by confirming that Julia is immune this week and will be making it to the merge. So
That's
Julia,
crazy.
how does that feel, Julia?
Wild, because like why did they vote for me? Like I have done nothing good to contribute to any team. So it's kind of just like, oh, they just must think I'm really cool.
How does that make you feel about like your standing in the game right now?
Oh, well, like if I could vote myself off, I would. I hate lying to people. It's stressing me out. I can't keep doing this anymore.
Jay, since the merge is happening after tribal, does having that knowledge like play into your strategy for this week?
It has to. I mean, after this vote, this tribe in name only is basically done. But if I could, I would take this group of 5 people, I would copy and paste and bring us to the merge because I think we'd be really strong together. But because you're putting on a sick, twisted game where nobody can ever have fun, that's not happening. So it has to come into play a little bit. How that comes into play is kind of hard to tell.
It's kind of interesting because 4 out of the 5 people here last week voted together, except for one person. So is the person who didn't vote with you guys like gonna be going home today? Is that 4 gonna stick together?
The only definitive answer that we have is Julia is safe tonight. So it's really up to the survivor gods to see who stays and who goes tonight.
Giana, how do you feel about tribal this week and your standing within the tribe? Are you worried that you might be the one going home tonight?
Unless you're Julia, from week to week, you can really never know whether you're going home or not. I guess my only consolation is that, like, if anyone votes for me, they're also voting for him. And how could you vote? Like, no one can vote for the face like this.
Do you think that so far this game has been made up of alliances, or do you feel like people are still kind of playing individual? Or like in other words, do you think people are working together to get farther, or do you think people are just taking it week by week, seeing where they can grab a vote? What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I can't speak for the other tribe, but I would say for our tribe, I think week to week it's been differing. There's been people that I didn't expect to work with that I've been working with, and people that I'm now working with that I wasn't originally working with, and it's interesting, you know. So I would say it's individual, but it's also group. Just depends on the week, and yeah.
With that, it is time to vote.
This is, again, nothing personal. It was really just a matter of keeping everyone in whose name starts with the J sound.
This is what I call a Hail Mary and a half. It's been nice getting to know you, but I really hope it's you this week.
It just has to be her, or it's me, or it's Jay. Like, there is no in between.
All right. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you'd like to play it, now would be the time to do so. All right. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Becca. One vote, Becca. Giana. Becca. That's 2 votes, Becca. 1 vote, Giana. Giana. That's 2 votes, Becca. 2 votes, Giana. 1 vote left. 6th person voted out of Survivor Zoom Island, and the first member of our jury, Becca. Becca, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. So everybody take a look at your first member of the jury. Becca voted out at the last tribal council. Welcome to tribal. As you know, 2 people will be voted out this week, and then afterwards we are going to merge into one tribe, and from there the game is going to be individual, or at least the challenges are going to be for individual immunity. But part of the twist was that one person from each tribe is immune from the vote. So I'm going to start off by confirming that Kelechi is immune at tonight's tribal council, so she cannot be voted for tonight. Kelechi, how does it feel to be immune?
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't expecting it, but like I do appreciate it. Like, wow, Samitouche, that's French for I'm touched, genuinely.
Does you earning immunity this week, does that make you feel a certain type of way about like how like your standing is within the game, or at least how you're perceived by the other tribe?
I mean, I'd like to think that I have an endearing, bubbly personality. So, for me, like hearing that they voted for me makes me think that other people have received that. I don't know, like strategically, like if that was like if anybody's like thinking one way or another, but at least in my mind, it's like, oh, like people just like me. I'm fun to be around. They love my warm smile. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to be liked. I mean, what can I say?
So, like I said, the merge is happening next. Does that knowledge sort of factor into tonight's vote? Are you thinking about who's going to be in your alliance when we get to the merge?
Yeah, that's definitely something you have to consider, and particularly this week with the unknown of someone on our tribe being immune, you kind of start running the numbers. Like, this person is immune, who's best to get out, who am I least likely to work with, who might have the most allies going forward. And so you kind of run that calculus on everyone who could be immune. But then something, at least I didn't consider so much. I don't know if the same is true of my tribe mates, but the other person, the other tribe, whoever they vote out, once we know that, that kind of throws a wrench into any pre-established plans that may have been had, because that's new information that you certainly can't just ignore when you're fortunate enough to hear it before voting.
We've gotten a couple weeks into this game now. We're almost at the merge, and no idols or advantages have been played to this point. Why do you think that is?
I think maybe part of it is people were trying to hold on to it to get to the merge, or, people trying to just get a feel for like what the divisions are before using any sort of idol or advantage. It is definitely interesting that it's been like a little bit quiet so far.
Yeah, do you think once we hit the merge, we're going to start seeing idols flying out at Tribal?
I don't know. I don't know about flying, but I wouldn't be surprised if one were to, make an appearance somewhat soon.
Lewis. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe at both of the tribals you've attended, you've received votes. Are you afraid that trend might continue tonight, or are you feeling safe today?
I wouldn't say that I feel safe. I think I think you're a fool to ever feel safe in this game. But I mean, yeah, I mean, my name's been written down a few times. People have come forward and explained why they, why they made that decision, and I think we've been able to reconcile, those reasons. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of the game is to, do what you can to reduce that chance, but it's always going to be a possibility, and it's not fully unavoidable.
Do you think that so far this game has been a game of like alliances, or do you think that people are playing more individual games so far? Or maybe in other words, like, do you think people have been working together to get farther, or do you think people are just going week by week and seeing where they can grab a vote?
I'm really not sure. I do feel like every time there's a vote, I like have an idea in my head of what an alliance is, and then there's a vote, and then I'm wrong. And I'm like, oh, well, then they obviously voted together. And then another vote happens, and I'm like, okay, obviously I was wrong again. I did think that there was like a little bit of like some pre-existing conditions happening, but no, I feel like the votes have been proving me wrong on that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see tonight. So with that said, it is time to vote.
I might regret not making a big move tonight, but I'm gonna have to go with what's gonna be, I think, a safe option for my success.
We're going, Matt. I gave him a lifeline. He didn't take it.
Hello, another week of going back and forth a million times on my vote.
Yeah, sorry, man. I wish it could have went down another way.
Oh, he has a Trader Joe's bag.
All right. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you'd like to play it, now would be the time to do so. All right. Once votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Lewis. It's one vote Lewis. Matt. It's one vote Lewis, one vote Matt. Lewis. That's two votes Lewis, one vote Matt. Matt. Two votes Lewis, two votes Matt, two votes left. Lewis. That's 3 votes Lewis, 2 votes Matt, 1 vote left. 7th person voted out of Survivor Zoom Island and the 2nd member of our jury, Lewis.
Well done.
Lewis, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go.
Next time on Survivor.
Everybody drop your buffs. Congratulations, we have officially merged.
Am I a mug? Do I have mug written on my forehead? M-U-G. Do I have mug written on my forehead?
And if you were to ask me what the worst case scenario is, it probably would have been that.
This is the week I feel the least knowledgeable of what's going on.
That group of 4 is never splitting up. Taryn, Zach, Audrey, and Matt are never splitting up.
I think Matt is feeding info to Giana.
In what world can I trust this man? My first mistake was trusting a man.